So recently, I sat down with a family law client in California. They run a mid-sized firm making about $5 million a year. And on paper, everything looked great. They had an AI receptionist for after hours, human receptionists for the day, an offshore SEO team, a PPC team, a growing referral network. And the best part is they even hired a new COO to run marketing and operations. But when the CEO sat down with me, he said, I have a visibility problem. I want to track every single customer down to a single penny. After talking for over an hour, I realized what was actually happening. They were confused about four different roles inside their law firm. Number one, marketing. Number two, intake. Number three, data engineering. Number four, business analysis. They thought fixing their marketing tracking would solve everything. But when a law firm grows, the issue usually isn't lack of tools, honestly, or cash, or even people. The real problem is building a process where all these four roles easily talk to each other. You can buy any tool or bring in advanced AI, even the most advanced AI in the world, but if your systems don't really talk to each other, none of this really matters. Before we take a deep dive into this, let's start with marketing attribution. Running ads or asking for referrals is the easy part. The actual hard part is knowing where that particular lead actually came from. So before you start anything, you have to decide which attribution model you have to use. And there are three main options for this. Number one is single touch, where you give 100% credit to the very first or very last channel through which that lead came from. Then you have multi touch, which splits credit across all the channels, basically the lead used. And then it's data driven, which uses an algorithm to split credit once you give or feed it enough data. By the way, I did make a full video on different types of marketing attribution models, and I'll link it below if you want to dive deeper into it. But for now, we are going to focus on this particular issue. Now, to be honest, if you run a small firm that is just starting out, single touch works fine. You don't have enough channels in the first place that you need anything complex like multi-touch or data-driven model. But if your firm gets more than 100 leads a month, you probably need to look into multi-touch attribution to get the whole picture. Now, for example, imagine a potential client gets served with divorce papers and he's worried about his child's custody. He searches Google for custody rules and reads a blog on your website. A week later, he sees your meta ad about the same topic, custody, and checks out your team page, the bios there, and the attorneys you have. And later, he searches Google for a custody lawyer near him, and local service ads show up. And then he clicks on your local service ads and books. Now, if you were using single touch attribution, it would give 100% credit to either the blog, which was the first touch, or the local service ad, which was the last touch. But multi-touch attribution splits the credit instead. For example, you might give 30% credit to your SEO efforts, 20% to meta ads, and 50% to your local service ad. This formula is not defined, and you could actually use this formula according to your own firm and its goals. But what it does give you is real visibility into what works, so you know exactly where to spend your money and which marketing channel to invest more in. So once you get the lead, you need to understand that getting a call booked is only part of the job. It doesn't matter how many calls you get if those people never actually pay you. The goal is to generate a real return on your marketing spend. The firm I talked to was so afraid of missing calls that they used an AI chatbot, AI voice agents, and human staff. But honestly, as soon as a lead calls or fills out a form, there has to be a way that the key details like their phone number, email, and UTM tracking tags must be sent straight to your practice management software where it needs to be associated with the contact that was created within it. Now, this firm used MyCase, but MyCase offers an open API on its top plan. But you could use like Zapier, webhooks, or any other service, to be honest, to move this data automatically. And the next part is usually when you ask qualifying questions, and your system should trigger an automatic intake form immediately. Now, most leads that we've seen within our line of work are lost right here. And because staff forget, AI makes a lot of mistakes and the form gets delayed. Now, while you wait, basically what happens is the prospect goes cold because obviously he's not just talking to you at that point. He's also talking to maybe 5 other firms. And probably then he's going to hire another firm that sent the form faster. Now, you can solve this problem using Lawmatics. You can send an intake form while the lead is still on the phone. And if they forget to fill it out, you don't waste your team's time calling manually or, sending reminders. You could actually set up automatic reminder sequences via email and text to make sure that you do get that form back and you're always on the prospect's mind. Now, what we've seen in family law is people do a lot of window shopping and often they just simply ghost you. So, to keep the conversion high, setting up an automated reminder sequence like, say, send text and email reminders maybe 1 week out, 1 day, 6 hours out, 10 minutes before the consultation is extremely important. And even then, people tend to ghost you, right? They miss consultations. And maybe if they're not ghosting, they might just run into some problem. And if they do that, it should trigger an automatic alert so your team can call them immediately and ask them why they missed the call and if they want it to be rescheduled. Now, the goal is we're not just talking to people. The goal is we need to get them to pay the retainer. So once the consultation is done, we got to send the retainer, and Lawmatics can help you with LawPay to ensure the retainer is signed and paid quickly. So once that is done, now you can actually figure out your customer acquisition cost, which in marketing terms is called CAC, and lifetime value, which is called LTV. Now, if you have multiple channels, like 5, 6 channels, you're tracking organic leads, you're tracking paid leads, you're tracking referral leads. Sometimes you share revenue with other referral partners. Sometimes they're free. Sometimes clients are sending you other clients. So the thing is that to get the full visibility, it gets really, really difficult. And if there's only one person doing the job, it kind of gets really messy. And that is why there needs to be, in my opinion, 4 different roles so that you have full visibility on each channel, its performance, its customer acquisition cost, and obviously how much lifetime value that particular channel is adding by getting you that particular client. So the first one is marketing, obviously. They need to handle lead tracking attribution. They need to put proper UTM tags, which should be globalized for your firms. So they do not put different tags every single time. and it should be standardized as well. Then comes the intake team. Obviously, they need to capture and enter the data. And the more you automate this, the better it will be because there will be less mistakes. But naturally, human in the loop has to be there because sometimes the AI systems fail and there has to be a fail safe for this. Then comes the data engineering role where obviously these guys need to clean the data, move the data using APIs and webhooks into your PMS so that it is associated with the right contacts. And if there are any visible patterns where the data has been corrupted, they should be able to track it back to the very first source so they know where this data is coming and who this data belongs to. Now, there are business analysts. Business analysts need to look at the data and they need to turn this data into clear reports and, most of all, business insights. And the more in depth the insights are, the better roadmap can be served in front of you as a business owner to see where my law firm is really going. And typically, people shy away from getting these people onboarded because usually for a law firm, it's an additional expense. But in terms of saving the amount of money that you're going to put into wrong channels or things which are not working, I'd probably want to get a business analyst to suggest and see every single key detail in it. For example, if I'm running an ad in 10 different cities within California for this firm, what I want to know is what are the kind of people who are converting, from which channel they're converting from, which type of post they saw, and that like boosted the conversion rate. Then how much lifetime value they have, and whether they were high net worth individuals, whether they were just looking for a small case like getting custody filing. And everything can be put into a dashboard where these reports can serve the main purpose. And the goal here is to give full visibility to a single penny that has been spent and gained by your law. Now, ideally, to build this setup, you need few key tools, and there are different, alternates to them as well. So first of all, you need to have a call rail setup. You need to have a practice management software with an API or webhook support. You also need to have full access to your ad accounts and Google Analytics. And why this is here, because I know a lot of marketing companies, they basically use their own ad accounts. They also use their own Google Analytics. They also use their own search consoles um, just to kind of trap you in this. But you need to ensure that you own these things. Then obviously you need to have an automation platform, Lawmatics or similar to something like that. Now keep in mind that every firm and their systems are different, and it's largely dependent on the culture of that place, the practices within that firm, the CEO, and the decision makers. So, for example, your Google profile might use a direct phone line without tracking, or your current software might need a tweak. So, you don't exactly know if all of this will fit in your needs, but to know exactly what your firm needs, a full audit is required, which is technical enough that it should not just tell you what's broken, it should tell you how we can get it fixed, what tools we got to use, what will be the cost of using these tools, and what will be the return when you, or an estimated return at least, when you apply these tweaks within your system. So I hope that this video has clarified the whole process for a multi-touch attribution, single touch attribution, and how you can bring more visibility into your firm's operations. Let me know if you have any questions. Feel free to contact me, and we do this for a living. and I'd really love to help you out in this.